I can sweep you off your feet with a simple melody, but I'm singing to your balcony. Won't you open up the doors? Won't you open up the doors? Yeah, yeah. I just wanna see what's inside your heart, inside your mind. What makes you laugh, what makes you cry.
Hey everyone, so I'm going to be sharing with you a DIY project today, and this has taken me so long to do. Today's project is going to be a t-shirt DIY, which I've really wanted to do for a long time, ever since I saw these kind of t-shirts online. I've actually been inspired by a store. If you've never heard of it, where have you been? But it's actually inspired by some t-shirts on brandymelville.com, which isn't actually available in the UK. I think it will be soon, or already it has one store or something. I'm going to be showing you how to make 3 tees. I made one before I did this video, so I won't be showing you how to make it, but I'll probably describe it. I'll probably put a blog post up as well, just so I can describe it a bit more detail, and there'll probably be a blog post for this whole video, so you can just read up everything. I'm on right now. So this one looks like this. It basically says like I love CA, which is obviously California. California's on a lot of their things. And I really love this design, so I actually recreated it. I'm going to get into the video, and if you guys ever replicate any of these things, definitely send me a video or tweet, because I'd love to see them, and I hope you guys enjoy, so I'll speak to you in a minute. Bye. Okay guys, so first things first, you want to get into something really comfortable, so I recommend wearing something really old, really kind of like fluffy, like this black top I'm wearing, and some sweats. You also want to put your hair up so you don't get any paint in it. And I also actually recommend putting something kind of soft on the floor, because my floor is hard. I'm using my yoga mat and I don't mind getting some paint on it. And if you can do some stretches on it, you might want to do that before you get started. So let's get started. Okay, so you first want to choose what kind of t-shirts you want to make. Like I said, mine are inspired by brandymelville.com, so you can go on Brandy Melville if you want to. But I'm just going to be picking some tees I really like. And then I did this before I filmed the video, but I actually made some templates. I'm going to make these available on my blog if you guys can't be bothered to make your own. And they're quite similar to the ones that are featured on the site. Okay, so then you want to print those things out, and you will have your template. Okay, so there's a couple things you're going to need for this project. The first thing is some freezer paper from Amazon.com. You're going to need a board and some kind of cutter. You're going to need some scissors, your choice of markers or pens, and some fabric painting, your choice of colour, and some old makeup sponges, some paper, and some scrap card. You're also going to need some tees, and I'm using some t-shirts I got from Forever 21 in the sale. They're not £7.25, they're actually £2 each. So now I'm going to be picking a template, and we're going to get started with our first tee. Okay, so I'm going to be making the LA Bones tee, which is actually my favourite out of all 3. So you want to take some freezer paper like this and choose a marker, and all you're going to do is just go around it. So you remember those days where they taught you how to trace things in school? This is going to come in handy. If you just want to trace that, you want to be as close to the line as possible. Okay, so then you're going to take some scissors. I recommend taking some smaller ones to get in between the gaps, but you want to cut it out as best as you can. Try not to make any slits. Try to make all of your cuts in a straight line, if that makes sense, because it will seep through if you don't cut it properly. So cut that out. Oh my goodness. Then you want to take your piece of spare card or whatever packaging, and you want to lay your template on the top. And then you're going to take your iron, and you want to make sure the sticky side is actually facing your t-shirt, and that will make it adhere to your top. And make sure you don't do it the other way around, because it will stick to your iron and it's hell to get off. So you want to put all the pieces on first and make sure they're really super stuck. And that was my phone, sorry about that. And then you want to take your paint. I'm using white because it really shows up well on dark, and this old sponge. And you're just going to want to take some paint, put some on your sponge, and just dab a bit onto your paper just to get the excess off. And then just go happy dabbing. So you just want to sponge it on. Don't swipe it because it makes your t-shirt a bit fluffy. I recommend dabbing because you can always go back in later on with a second coat. So enjoy the footage while I just dab away. Okay, so I finished my dabbing, and while it's wet you want to peel it off so it doesn't get stuck. Peel all the pieces off and you literally have your tee, as easy as that. And that's what the first tee looks like.
Gravity can't stop us today.
Okay, so I completely lost some of the footage for this, but I actually had a template which I said would be on my blog, and you want to be so careful with this one because it's got a bear on it. You don't want to cut off its nose or its hands or anything like that, so you want to cut that out. Then you want to take your board and take another t-shirt. I'm using the grey one because I really like the contrast it's going to give, and I've cut all of my templates out, including the eye and the CA and the bear as well. So you want to iron them on, like I said, sticky side down, and you can tell that by looking at it because it's actually a shiny part. You want to iron all your pieces on, and I'm actually using black for this shirt, so you just again want to dab this, and black gets everywhere, so be so careful when you're doing this, and you might actually want to put down some more newspaper. And because black is really thick, you don't really need as many layers. I wanted mine to be kind of distressed, so I didn't go back in with the second layer. And then you want to peel it while it's wet. Okay, and there we have the second t-shirt, which is my second favourite, if not my favourite. I can't really choose, I just love them all. Okay, so now we're on to our very last tee, and I wanted to do kind of something different with this, so I was actually looking on images on google.com for the Brandy Melville shirts, and I saw the Infinity Love, and I thought I wanted to put a twist on my own. So I'm actually going to be using a fabric pen for this one, and you can get this from eBay or even Amazon, depends on your preference. So I'm going to actually just practice tracing the Infinity because it's super hard, and because it's really difficult to do all of this with just a pen, you're going to want to take some practice, and you're actually going to want to put it on with a marker. So I'm using just like an ordinary ink pen, and I'm going to be dabbing on the infinity sign just so I can show myself the template, and that looks like that. Then I'm going to be taking my fabric pen and going through and actually tracing over it. You're going to want to do this in brisk little feathery strokes, not a straight line, because it will go everywhere, and that way you can actually build up what you have. Okay, so push that aside for now. You want to take some more freezer paper, just a small square, not too much. I'm actually going to be writing the letters love in block letters, and this is actually going to be my twist. So instead of writing it in curly letters, I really want it to stand out against what I'm doing. So I'm taking my cutting mat and my cutter, which is just a circle cutter. I'm using the blades on it and cutting out the letters, and then you just want to push them through like so, and then you just want to use a ruler to trace it while you're doing it. And if you have a call from your sister like I did, you want to answer it, but apart from that you just want to keep doing the rest of the letters. She wears all the time. I got my heart set. Okay, so now you actually have your letters right here. So you want to take your shirt again, and at this point in time I'm actually going to go over what I've already done. So I'm going to be taking a paintbrush and going over with the black paint, and I found that actually dabbing this slightly is a little bit more easier than dragging it, because it creates bumps in your shirt, and you don't want that. You want it to be as smooth as possible. This is really hard, and I really recommend doing at least 3 layers because it's really hard for the paint to stick, especially this kind of t-shirt, and it works really well on cotton. And then lastly I'm going to go over it with the fabric pen, and you want to iron it to set it in. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking my letters. I'm just going to be adhering that and then tracing them, but also putting on some of my paint. I'm using black once again, and again you want to peel it while it's wet. You know the drill now by now, and you just want to do that for every single piece of your templates. But I'll never stop, 'cause I just can't live without, can't stop thinking about. Okay, and then we are literally done with our last shirt, so that is literally it, and that's exactly what this shirt looks like. Okay, so our DIY is done, and you have all of these amazing shirts to play with and to use and to accessorize. So I hope you guys have fun, and that is the end of the tutorial. I hope everyone enjoyed, and hopefully this will be the last video that I have with my voice sounding like I'm dying. I am really sorry for this, and I hope I get better soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed, like I said, and I hope it was a great video for you to watch. I don't know, I just really love doing these DIY kind of things, and if you have any more ideas you'd like me to kind of try and do, definitely leave me a comment. So I'll speak to you guys later. Just another one, baby. Oh, just another one, baby.